But we're already live, so let's go.
Awesome. Okay, so welcome everyone to Champions of the Light Super Series. My name's Kai Ashley. I'm the spiritual guide and healer of the healers. And today we have the fabulous Sabrina Muller, who is the CEO of Boss Queen Dynasty. Welcome, Sabrina. Thank you for joining us.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I love how we can actually talk and we're actually pretty much on the same time zone. Usually it's always, right, one end of the world. And now we're like pretty much, it's like Sunday evening for both of us. So this is great. Super excited to chat to you tonight.
Yeah, it's awesome. So I started this interview series because one of the things that really helped me make so much progress and believe in myself was hearing the stories of how people have triumphed over adversity. So I was wondering if you wanted to share about your story and what you felt was the significant moment that helped you overcome some of the toughest times.
Absolutely. Well, it's always a really good question and a good conversation to be had. Like, because like I think if we're really honest, like there's too much of a picture portrayed outside how people are like slaying it and they're killing it and booking all these clients and making all this money. However, and this is what I've said to someone else too, I can't remember who it was, might have even been my mom, about no one sees what goes on behind the scenes. You know, there is no overnight success. Like at the end of the day, it's really the thing that you do when no one's watching. You know, they say like true integrity is actually what you do when no one's watching, because everybody can put a beautiful picture up and be all glam, you know, but it's the things that here, like on a Sunday night, you know, like where other people may be watching TV, which there's nothing wrong with, by the way, but other people are here and doing, you know, they're sharing their message, they're doing their soul work, because at the end of the day, that's what it takes. So I think it's a really awesome conversation to be had. If I had to pick moments, it's tricky because I feel like the whole last, I mean, I went online, I started online in 2013. I went full-time online as of the beginning of 2016. I think there's been a million really points, but I think two have been really detrimental. The first one is I was too naive in the beginning. I literally thought, because I came out of my life coaching school, you know, I did all the trainings and I was full of beans and full of excitement. And I was like, right, I have a website. I'm going to just, you know, literally open doors and tell the world, here I am, and then come. And that didn't happen. It did not happen, to the point that actually financially, and I think everyone can agree that financially you're going to fall on your face a lot, to the point of literally being a phone call away. And that's happened to me, a phone call away from possibly having to declare bankruptcy because I got myself into such a pickle, and still deciding to keep pursuing the path less traveled. You know, when others said to me about, oh, you know, maybe you should go back to being a personal trainer and earn some money again and maybe pay off some of these debts and then do it the other way. And I'm like, no, I can't go back. So I think it's one of those decisions where, you know, don't be too naive. Maybe in hindsight, I could have like stayed in my security a little longer, but I'm no one for playing it safe on a good day. You know what I'm saying? So I do think don't underestimate like how much of a platform or a foundation you actually have to build. That's probably like the first thing that I would say, that I think it's a great opportunity that we have these days to build businesses, and you can do it in a heartbeat. Like it's actually not hard when you understand who you are, what your soul work is, and what you're so passionate about. Then again, translating that into marketing terms sometimes can be a bit tricky too, because you don't know all the ins and outs. And the second thing I'd say is my message that success is who you are, not what you do. You know, which can be then conflicting, because on one hand I'm like, don't be too naive, understand you got to be diligent and you got to do the do and do the do and do what it takes as often as it takes until it takes, and be prepared, you know, to do more than the rest so you can truly shine and stand out. So I'm going like, you got to do the do, but you got to understand it comes from knowing who you are first. It's energy before strategy. And that is the biggest shift that I've had, because I got to a point in my business where I was literally like banging my head against the wall and going, what am I not doing? Because I am doing. And then I got told, that is the problem. You are too much in your masculine, too much in your doing, not enough in your being and receiving. And that for me, I think literally shifted the whole entire game of my business, but also my life and who I am as a person today. And you would, I mean, you know
Yeah,
what I'm talking
that was
about,
the big
right?
game changer for me too, is when I really realized I could just choose to be the version of me that I sort of saw in my heart. Didn't have to work my way there and prove my way there. Because I was always trying to like prove myself. Then I realized I don't have to prove myself. It's about choosing.
Exactly. Choosing and deciding. And that's like, I actually put like 7 things together that I'm happily, we'll go through with
Yeah.
you. And one of them is exactly that. It's that energy game. And that's why I'm so passionate about, blending the strategy with the spirituality. Like I love it. And I think that, it's totally my jam, because I can completely figure out what strategy is not working. However, also bring in the element of opening yourself up to receive, understanding that you have this infinite, possibilities flowing through you, that you are innately worthy. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. When you own that with that energy of knowing, and you have fun doing what you do, success is going to be guaranteed. And then you just need to let go of the timing, right?
Yep,
Like
that's it.
surrender the timing. Stop trying to control the universe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and also I'd just like to make a little note that we can't actually see any of the chat box. So if anyone's leaving any comments, we'll definitely be checking them out. So please leave any ahas or any thoughts that you have. And Sabrina, I would love to know, what are these 7 steps that you have to share with everyone?
Yeah, amen. Let's go through them. Okay, so I decided, and I did this actually for one of my programs called the Boss Queen Dynasty, where energy meets strategy to create your 6-figure legacy. And I did a call towards the end, and I thought, well, what was it for me that has allowed me to create this beautiful, business that is just growing, growing, growing? And I came up with these 7 things. So let's go through them, because I think they're going to resonate with you. The first one, I'm going to give credit to the beautiful Katrina Ruth, because she's hammered that into the back of my mind, that discipline creates freedom. And you may have heard that before. And I'm a big fan, because I do believe that it's the discipline of showing up every day and doing the do, and doing obviously all the work, starting with the inner work. That is so important. At the end of the day, building, yes, we talk about, it's all about the flow, and it's all about being fun, and it's all about just, let the spirit take you and be, guided by soul. Yes, but at the end of the day, if you're not diligently, showing up, serving, shining your light, sharing your message, speaking your truth, and also follow up and do the things, then I'm sorry, you're going to end up having a very expensive hobby, right, or part-time business. So you have to understand that, yes, it is sometimes about, putting your butt into the chair and doing what is necessary, whether it's on a Sunday, whether it's on a Monday, whether it's some nights, to 1 o'clock, but on other days you just work for 2, 3 hours. Like, but it is, number one, discipline will set you free. Number 2, morning rituals. To me, my morning rituals are like legit the way that I start my day. And I believe they truly are an integral part in aligning my energy, my beliefs, my thoughts, my vibration, setting my intention. So I always say the 3 things you want to do is actually 4 things: meditation, mindset, manifestation, and money. And truly have a ritual every morning. Like, to me, that's part of the soul work. Like, I don't engage in any conversation with no one. I don't check messages. I don't check with team. I don't like clients' messages or whatever, because otherwise you already start taking on their energy, and you're starting to already think about them. Well, why you need to obviously honor your soul first. So morning rituals, absolutely, hands down, my favorite way to start the day. Okay. Number three, I put down and I guess that's something that I've always had naturally, is like I'm extremely curious. Like I've always been that child that has talked to strangers and asked lots of questions. So I know that the daily awareness is absolutely crucial. Really, because the thing is, let's say most or a large chunk of female entrepreneurs and leaders and visionaries and the crazies and the rebels and all of them, most of them are so good, like getting up in the morning and I do my meditation and I write my affirmations and I make my plan and I'm ready to go. And of course I can have it all. And of course I can be it all. And of course I can do it all. But what happens with the rest of the day? Like what happens as you navigate throughout the day and you pick up a conversation or you pick up a message or something doesn't quite go the way that you had planned, because let's face it, when does shit ever go the way that you planned it? You know what I'm saying? But when you practice, and I do that, it's like the daily awareness of realizing, oh, wow, I choose to stay in alignment, but all of a sudden I'm getting an unexpected bill or something's happening that's kind of thrown me, or maybe a sale fell through, or someone who wanted to work with you changed her mind, or a client's payment has bounced. I mean, we've all been there. We've seen it all. To then still come with like a level of childlike curiosity and wonder and go, that is really interesting, and I play. And so when I have because we're not immune. I mean, we're still being a human. We're still having a human experience. And ego and fear is never going to go away or at all, because to an extent it's here to serve you and to protect you. So I know this, and I picked up again a reminder of Gabby Bernstein and her Super Attractor book, where she calls it the choose again method, right? So I play with it. So when I notice that I'm having a fearful thought, I go, thank you, ego, thank you. And you know what? I choose to reject this motherfucker.
Yep, exactly that.
I choose to reject that motherfucker. And I choose to believe that actually I am infinite abundance. I have infinite possibilities, flowing through me. Or I choose to actually release this and I choose to, pick a new belief, right? A new belief system. So to have this like awareness and this play like curiosity, I think it's going to serve you, because it takes pressure off. It's not about having to do it all right and get it all right, and just allow for the fact that you are human, that you're never going to be a robot. So that's really, I think it's really important.
And you know what I really love about that point is your self-talk there. What I really want to make clear is this isn't just some concept. We actually sit there and we talk to ourselves like that. We actually say, no, we actually will do it. Like, no, I reject that. No, this is not who I want to be. That's not what I want to think. Exactly. Instead, I am full of abundance. Instead, everything is working out for me. And, I know I sit there and I will go on a rant and I will drown out those negative thoughts until they're like gone.
Yeah, it is true. I went to the a city here in Germany last week, which is by the ocean. And to me, the ocean is just so divine. And even though it was freezing cold, I was like literally walking along the beach and I was doing chants and rants and just talking to myself and downloading and upgrading and releasing. And then I thought, I probably should turn around and see if someone's behind me, because they might think I'm a crazy person, but oh well, who cares?
Yeah.
Right?
You know what I think about with that? Like at first they think you're crazy, but when they see more and more people doing it, they realize that it's not that crazy, and then it opens them up to be connected with their heart instead of being one of the normals that are like just programmed. So you're actually doing them a service.
I know. And it is, right? And one has to always lead, and then someone will follow and someone will follow. And that's what we do, why we do. Like I say to my community, all I'm doing is like I'm walking the path before you, and I'll lay out the red carpet for you and invite you to join the journey. You know what I'm saying? So
love that.
I totally get it. What else we've got? So number 4, one of my favorites too is like, I love all of them actually, but obviously, you can't create the future, like a new future, from the same energy that created it, or that you are right now. So it's really about understanding too that you can't solve a problem with the same energy that's created it. So what does that mean? It really means this: every day you get to play and tune in to the woman, right, who is already, let's say, the $1 million queen. I call her the $1 million queen. So every day I tune into the $1 million queen version, and I ask myself, as a $1 million queen, how do I choose to think? How do I choose to feel? What are my energies and emotions and vibrations? And how do I choose to show up today? And then I tune in, I go, okay, well, I'd be the fullest expression of myself. Well, what does that look like today? Right? And how am I going to serve? And obviously, how I'm going to impact. And that's really cool. I think it's like understanding that, because the old paradigm, the way the old world thinks, is that you have to get to the result first, and then you get to feel free, you get to feel successful. It's like I'll be happy when syndrome, like we've all been there. I've been there. Like it's been like, whether it's with weight, whether it's with money, success, it's always like, oh, I have to first make, I don't know, a certain amount of money, or I need to have this amount of clients, or I need to first have accomplished this, then I'm successful.
Right. And it's actually the opposite.
Of course, that's why I always say, usually people think it's about doing, do, so that you get to have whatever result. So then you get to be what you've actually always wanted to be. Well, let's flip that. And that's why I always say, permission to be, do, and have it all, right? Tune into the being of the woman and tap into her. And of course, it's always about freedom, mental freedom, physical, emotional, spiritual. It's about choices. It's about that level of trust and that knowing, right? And get into that vibration. And then you go, okay, now from this energy, I've got this. And then you look at, okay, what is my intention today? How am I going to show up? How am I going to serve? What am I going to sell? How am I going to, attract more women in vibrationally? Like, I'm all about becoming a magnet for your most majestic, mind-blowing, and magnificent life. And so for me, it's always about, how can I be a magnet today? How can I be that magnet, right? I mean, that's obviously what I do. So I think it's so, so, so important to flip that switch. Number 5, we love that. Daily decide to rise above your current circumstances. So I always feel you can either choose to be a victim or a hero. You can choose scarcity or abundance. You can choose fear or choose love. Because at the end of today, what's that saying? You can't just be a little bit pregnant.
Yep.
And you need to understand, it's like there's a coin. On one side of the coin, you've got the abundance, you've got the love, you've got the trust, the surrender. On the other side, you've got the worry, the fear, the lack mentality, the scarcity. And it's literally just a choice. Like you said before, it's about choosing, right? And it's actually, of course, it's easier said than done. But when you recognize that life always happens for you, no matter what, you have to believe. And this may sound like super woo-woo, but you just have to believe, or not believe, you have to understand and deep down believe that the universe works on your behalf. It's part of the grander plan. So even though in that moment, it might feel that you're hopeless, or might feel that you don't know actually, where is the light at the tunnel? When am I going to finally, launch that program and make that money and hit that bank account? And when am I going to increase the cash flow? And when I'm going to do it on repeat and with such ease that I don't ever have to worry about it? And then things still happen, and kind of usually it's like that arrow, like it always wants to pull you back before it's going to leap you forward.
Yeah.
And to know in that moment, every moment, you get to choose and be like, you know what? I choose to become a worthy opponent of the challenge. So even in the moments of darkness and despair, I know it's actually serving me for the greatest good for me and for all. And I think that's really powerful.
And I think
you
this is
think?
where your point for curiosity comes in so well. Because I love being curious in these moments. Instead of like, I used to always think, oh no, it's like this and that, and it's really like bad. And I'd go into like massive anxiety. Whereas now I look at it with curiosity and I'm like, okay. And I've programmed in the belief in my head of the universal law. Everything is working out for me, no matter how it seems. And if it seems like it's not working out, then there must be some sort of lesson. So what could the lesson be? And then I just sort of look for it with that energy. And it makes all the difference in the world.
It does. It does. And you know, and we still get moments of like, fuck this shit, you know, we do. But I think it's that fact that we get to always rise above it, what will lead to the success that will allow you to face any adversity and know it's part of the greater plan or grander plan, you know. So number 6, we've got be unapologetically, authentically, and unfiltered you. Like, just be you. Like,
I like that one.
Like honestly, unapologetically, and authenticity, and being like unfiltered, being all of me, who I am, is probably one of the things that has allowed me to succeed in the industry, because I'm always the same, whether I hang out with my parents, whether I talk to you, whether I talk to my clients, talk to my friends, whether I know that person or not, I can only be myself. And I'm so grateful. I feel like my life journey has been all about really accepting and honoring how fucking great I am. And this may sound like I'm blowing smoke up my own ass, but no, I think it's really honoring. And the thing is, I'm no more special than you or whoever's watching it. It's just understanding that the authenticity and being all of you is all you can ever be. Like, that's all. And I think we need more authenticity. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I really do think that it's not about just feeling good all the time and, you know, always being great. It's like sometimes we do have our own issues, and it's actually okay to share that with the world. You don't have to be perfect. In fact, you can't be perfect. And I've actually found that I used to have a big fear of being seen. I'd like, my hands would shake at the idea of even doing videos. And I was always so scared of people seeing me make a mistake. And it wasn't until I just let myself be, you know, because I'm sometimes goofy and silly and, you know, and it wasn't until I just let that shine through that then I started finding my soul tribe, and then I started feeling more comfortable in my own skin. And it is like, I'm pretty sure it's a pretty cliche saying that, like, you know, the only person you really can be is you. So you might as well be you, because no one can do a better job of being you.
Amen. I know. It's so cliche, and it's not even rocket science, but it is like still quite difficult to embrace all of you. Exactly that. Like, in a world where we want to, you know, shine a light, and obviously we want to build really successful empires, I think women are afraid to let them know, oh my God. And I try and you know, I truly try and be as transparent as I can. And I'm sure there's always more layers and more vulnerability, you know, but I tend to just share. And even, you know, like the challenges, and sometimes I give myself, you know, like the worst mind fuck, you know, and it's cool, because people want to see you're human. People connect with that, rather than you constantly just like, oh my God, yes, owning it, slaying it, owning it, slaying it. That's not real, because it's just not. So I think that that's really, really important. And then finally, it's really about a couple of aspects. I think it's really about always coming from a place of love and acceptance whilst you're working on yourself. And I found that really difficult for me to really master, because I'm such a freaking control freak. And of course, you know, impatient as hell at times. And then I remember, oh my God, I don't need to be impatient. I know that everything, you know, works in the divine ways and it's all good. But still, then sometimes you get that, but I got to pay my bills next week. You know, you're like, hang on a minute. So I get these moments. And I found that hard. But now I can go, you know what, if things don't go the way that I wanted, or something's coming up, and, you know, or I just am extremely human, and, you know, then I just go, you know what, I love and accept myself for who I am today. And I'm so grateful for who I am today, and so grateful for who I am becoming every day. Right? That I think is really cool. And then the final, it's like number 8, because it's just something that's on my mind right now, is to replace the pressure with play and pleasure.
That's a big one.
Yeah, right. I get that. And I think it goes back to obviously the more joy you are, the more joy you have, the more of a magnet you are anyway, right? So if you truly want to manifest more money, more clients, more opportunities, then do the things that light your soul up. Because when you're in a state of play and pleasure and you feel fucking amazing,
Mm-hmm.
that is what the universe responds yes to. Because the universe responds to alignment and not time.
Mm-hmm.
So for all of those out there who keep thinking, yes, I know we have to do the do, but it's not about taking the steps. It's not about understanding, oh my God, I got to send out, I don't know, these amount of emails and, whatever. It's not steps. It's not time. It's alignment. It's energy. So sometimes it's cool to take a little bit of pressure off and to get away and just have fun,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's whatever, have a bit of a dance party, allow yourself to take time off, like truly be good, like be okay with, what, I've worked my ass off for the last 3 days, I'm going to just enjoy a massage, or I'm going to have a nap, or I'm going to sleep in. Be good with that, because I know for me, I didn't give myself permission. I was all about got to work from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, and it was consume me. And now I know, damn it, if I would have known this, what I know now, I'd actually be already $1 million queen in 3D. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm $1 million queen in 5D.
Yeah.
It's coming, but I already be physically, $1 million queen. I'm sorry, that's the coffee machine. And that's sort of like my wrap. So what do what maybe stands out for you the most, or what do you think? What do you want to say?
Hmm. I mean, I just love your vibe. I love everything you have to say. I am so
Oh,
glad that you're our first speaker, Sabrina.
I love it. Thank you.
You know, the part that actually stood out for me at the end was so many of your points like interweave together.
Yes.
Like the discipline, it's even also about discipline of making sure you do have that nap or go for that walk or have that dance party, because and then it's like when you burn yourself out thinking, oh no, if I could just do this, it goes back to then I'll be happy. If I could just get all this work done, then I'll be happy. But then you actually don't live your life. And I always feel like we can actually start living big portions of our dream life right now if we just start living like we already had our dream life, whether you're not on that beach yet or in that high rise or wherever it is that you want to be, you can still live your day pretty similar to, if you had those next levels that you wanted to, if you're just willing to take that time for yourself and to work through the fear and to, be in that aligned next level state. So yeah, I loved your tips. I think it's absolutely amazing. Thank
I
you.
love it. Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. I like what you said about the whole, and I know we're mindful for time, because I know otherwise we'll probably talk hours and hours and
Yeah.
hours. But I think it's that good girl behavior. We're gonna drop that. We used to think, like, even as a child, like, you got to do your homework first, then you can go play. Got to eat your dinner, then you can have this. And so we're conditioned to think, oh, I got to work, 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 and then I'm allowed to watch some Netflix. Then I'm allowed. It's like, no. And so sometimes I completely do the complete opposite. I like will literally do crazy things, like, like not even work till like 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I will do whatever. I'll go to, like, for breakfast to the beach and just soak up the sun. And in my old days, I'd be like, oh my God, no, that is not very professional. And I love it. And now it's like, no, I just go with what comes up, but the work still gets done.
Yes.
And that's kind of like how it all kind of meshes together. So I hope that everyone who watches this can kind of like take their own nudges, and I can share them, obviously, if you wanted them or something, maybe in the email, I can kind of something like write them up and you can send them out. And now we just want to like find out, obviously, what's like the number one that you're going to implement, for all your viewers and listeners.
Yes, please put that in the comments. Let us know which one out of the 8 did you love most.
Yeah.
So tell us about your wonderful free gift while I figure out how I can share it from our whole Zoom setup.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of my absolute favorite things I do are activations and meditations. I love recording them. I get fabulous feedback. There is something about being like, my voice is everything. And so I wanted to share what I call the Boss Queen Confidence Code Activation, because again, confidence is like that thing that so many women still with in terms of putting themselves out there. So literally this boss queen activation is all about like tapping into that next level you know, whether it's your own $1 million queen version or whatever goal it is that you're going for. It's actually all about seeing her, connecting with her, feeling your way into her, and really tapping into the, you know, the energies, the thoughts, the feelings of how she would show up. So that's what we're going to share, because I think it's something that everyone can integrate into their daily rituals, because remember, the daily rituals are absolutely key in creating your successful empire.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Sabrina. This has been absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Likewise.
Yes, and I have shared your special gift in the links below. If you're watching on the replay, it will be in the pinned comments, and I might edit it to the top, but you'll see where it is. It's either in the comments or at the top.
That's it. Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Great. Thank you. So make sure to join us for all 24 speakers. If you haven't signed up yet, I'll also put the link for that, and I'll see if I can log off. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.